New England Patriots may have just gotten the best news yet or the worst news. It's kind of up to you and how you're going to end up taking this. But overall, ESPN has the Patriots with the best average draft position out of their recent FPI index and the second best odds for the number one pick in the 2025 NFL draft. And I know, I did not think the Patriots were going to be in the realm of getting that first-round draft pick. I actually thought the Carolina Panthers were going to end up being the first-round pick, but they started winning some games toward the end of the season. But here is what ESPN currently has ranked from that FPI index. New England Patriots at number one. The New York Giants just slightly behind them. The Carolina Panthers, the Raiders, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Tennessee Titans. And I know you're probably wondering, how did the Patriots end up with this type of average draft position? I'm going to break that down in just a moment. But first, I want to ask you guys, like I said, it could be either be the best news or the worst news. I'm not sure. It depends on how you feel about possibly getting the first pick in the 2025 NFL draft. I think it's great, but it depends on who they want. So, do you want the Patriots to get the first pick in this upcoming draft? Go ahead and spam your ones in the comment section down below if you guys agree. And then I'll go ahead and break down this quote here from ESPN. This kind of breaks down how they figure out who is going to have that first pick as of right now while the season is still going on. Every week during the season, the FPI projects the draft order by simulating the remainder of the season 20,000 times. Game probabilities are based largely on the model's ratings for individual teams in addition to game locations. The order is based on the record the model believes the teams will have after 17 games and each team's average draft position in the simulation. So now that there's 5 games left in the season, they're pretty much just looking at the rest of the remaining schedule and seeing how many wins the Patriots are going to have, the Jaguars, Titans, Raiders, Giants, and Panthers. Well, unfortunately for New England, the Patriots have the first remaining strength of schedule, which means they have the hardest remaining strength of schedule among everybody in the NFL, but especially with the Jaguars, who have the easiest remaining strength of schedule. Same thing with the Raiders, the Giants, the Panthers. So thankfully, the Patriots now have a bye this weekend, no games. But when you come back, you've got the Cardinals, who, don't be fooled by their record. They put up a good fight, 6-6. And then you're taking on the some are saying MVP Josh Allen season and predicted Super Bowl winners of Buffalo Bills not once but twice. And then you go on to take on Harbaugh and the Los Angeles Chargers, who are also very good this season as well. So in my opinion, I'm looking at a loss, a loss, a loss, and a loss. I don't think New England wins another ball game. I don't. I think the last couple of games have been great for the Patriots to figure out what's working and what's not ahead of the free agency, ahead of the draft. But I don't think what they've been putting up in the last 3-4 games will be enough to take down the Cardinals, Chargers, and Bills. Because think about it. You played the Rams, which, pretty good team. You played the Titans. They kind of suck. You played the Bears. You blew them out. So I don't think the strength of schedule more recently has really depicted what the Patriots can do for the rest of the year. And then when you do look at the other teams that we're competing with for the first pick in the draft, you got the Jaguars, who had the easiest strength of schedule moving forward. Remember how I just said the Titans suck? We took them into overtime. They play them this weekend. Then the Jets, who I think Aaron Rodgers looks like dust. Then you have the Raiders, the Titans again, and then the Colts. These are teams that we recently just played and played some of our best games against. Well, Trevor Lawrence is now placed on IR, so Mac Jones will take over, and we all know how that goes. And then you look at the Raiders' strength of schedule. They got the Buccaneers. That'll be a tough game. The Falcons, you never know what Kirk Cousins and Bijan Robinson want to do. Then you have Trevor Lawrence-less Jaguars. You got the New Orleans Saints, who are really fighting to find their identity, and then they play the Chargers as well. So we know that the Raiders and Jaguars are kind of competing with us right now for that first-round draft pick. So if they can end up winning a couple more ball games, well, the Patriots are kind of screwed. Same thing with the Giants. They play the Ravens. That's probably a loss. They can definitely beat the Saints. They might beat the Colts. They might beat the Falcons. They're probably not going to beat the Eagles, but I could see out of the next 5 games at least getting one win against either the Saints or the Colts, in my opinion. So we're really kind of competing neck and neck with the Giants right now. So my question here for you guys is, do you guys think New England will win another ball game? Do we have what it takes to take down Kyler Murray, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, and then Josh Allen again? I'm going to go no, but if you guys think different, go on ahead and put it in the comment section down below. Type Y for yes, type N for no. And then I'm going to get into who I would personally want within that first 5 draft pick. But first, let me tell you guys about our sponsor here on Patriots Today. It's PrizePicks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app in America. Let me tell you a fun little story about my game day last Sunday. I put 4 picks down for $45, and I won $400. This is why I play PrizePicks. It's super easy. All you guys have to do is just pick more or less on a player's projected stats, and you can win up to 100 times your money with as little as 4 correct picks. All you have to do is pick minimum 2 players, maximum 6 players, and that is all you have to do. It's honestly almost easier than just downloading the app in itself. Plus, with crossover season right now, you can pick between football, basketball, and several other sports that are going on right now. So for tonight's game, I do have Jason Tatum going up against the Detroit Pistons. I'll have Tatum have more than 8 boards, and I'll have Cade Cunningham to have less than 35 points, rebounds, and assists. But I went on ahead and picked one for Thursday Night Football as well, and I'll have Jahmyr Gibbs to have more on his rushing yards. If you want to copy my picks, I have no shame in that. If you guys want to make your own PrizePicks, just go on ahead and download the PrizePicks app. Use promo code CLNS. This will give you $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Download the PrizePicks app. Use promo code CLNS. This will give you $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. At the top of Foot's top 5 big board, I feel like I can't get through the top 5 picks without at least mentioning Travis Hunter, as of course he is the wide receiver / DB for Colorado right now. But can I be fully honest with you guys? I don't want Travis Hunter. I don't. I know he's flashy. I know he's fantastic. But I don't think this is what we should use our first round pick on. Because when you look at a guy like Travis Hunter, we do not know whether or not he's going to play wide receiver or DB in the NFL. While I personally would take him for the DB rather than the wide receiver, I just think that the Patriots really need to use that first-round draft pick on either an edge rusher or maybe a tackle. We can talk about that later, about possibly just using free agency to go pick up a veteran tackle. I think Travis Hunter, he's got phenomenal talent. He may even win the Heisman this year. I may be in the minority of saying I don't want Travis Hunter on this team, but as a wide receiver, I think there are better wide receivers out there. As a DB, I think there are better DBs out there in the draft, but because he plays both, I think that makes him a hotter commodity on this big board. But I'm not completely closed off to it. But I would rather go after a guy in a position where we are very much in need. Let's talk about Kelvin Banks Jr. Kelvin Banks obviously playing for Texas. He's one of the best left tackles in the game right now. He can play tackle, he can play guard, and that's what Patriots really need right now. An interchangeable offensive lineman. Whether it needs to be interior or exterior, well, that's up to Kelvin Banks Jr. and the Patriots. But I do think that right now he is predicted to go lower in that top 10. So if the Patriots do end up having that first-round draft pick, well, then we're going to have to wait and see who they're going to need for that first pick. But Kelvin Banks is a guy that you want protecting Drake May. And if it's not going to be Banks, then it needs to be Will Campbell, the other offensive lineman for LSU, who's having a phenomenal season this year. And when I look at Campbell, I was talking to producer Rolly just a minute ago. I mean, the guy's just an absolute tank. When you're going to be over 300 pounds, but you can still move as quickly laterally as a defensive lineman can, then I think this is a guy definitely worth noting. Will Campbell is putting a lot of people on notice. He's going to possibly fall to that back end of the top 10 picks along with Banks. Because you have to think about it. If the Giants do end up getting the first pick and the Patriots maybe even the second, the Giants will more than likely take a quarterback, which we handled last year. So we still could obviously move up and get a player like this. But if you really want to go on the other side of the football with your first draft pick, well, you could have Mason Graham, the D tackle out of Michigan. I personally do like Mason Graham. I think that when you look at a franchise like Michigan, they just produce athletes. So you really can't go wrong with adding a D tackle. Why? Because the Patriots are non-existent this year in the sack category, in all honesty. And I do think that pressuring the quarterback has become an issue as games have went on. Matthew Stafford, Tua Tagovailoa, Anthony Richardson, all of them went fairly untouched in the last 3 weeks. So if you were to add another rusher or even a D tackle into this position and add it to that 3-4 front with Daniel Ekuale, Christian Barmore, Keon White, maybe get him some help on the opposite side because you're looking at a guy that's got 7 TFLs, 3.5 sacks, and 34 pressures, and I think that he would just be a big body to add to that 3-4 front. Let's stay on defense here, though. Let's look at Michael Williams coming in from Georgia. Now, I know I haven't really specified another need, which is cornerback and the secondary, but I do also really like Alex Austin this year for the Patriots, so I want to focus more so on that 3-4 front where I've really noticed an issue, and when you've got a guy like Williams coming in from another franchise like Georgia that produces year in and year out successful NFL guys, well, you really can't go wrong with a guy like that. Yes, he may fall towards the back half of that top 10 NFL draft. If the Patriots do end up getting the first, I'm not sure if they're going to take their first on a defensive tackle like that. I will probably take it on an offensive lineman. But overall, there are several positions the Patriots could enhance their probabilities at. You've got the wide receiver. You've got the secondaries. You need help on the offensive line. You now need help on your defensive line, noticing how little sack production and pressures from the quarterback that we have seen these last couple of games. So thankfully, if Patriots do end up getting the first, second, third, fourth pick, most of those teams are going to need a quarterback, unless the Jacksonville Jaguars. Maybe not even the Panthers, since Bryce Young decides he wants to actually play football now. So the Patriots, even if they don't get the first-round draft pick, can still end up getting a really good guy. But who do you want with the Patriots' first pick? Let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, if anything does happen, any new news, any new rumors, or any new mock drafts do come out, I'll talk about it right here on Patriots Today by Chat Sports. All you guys have to do is subscribe.